Hi, my name is Sally, and I've designed a sensory kit to assess pediatric patients um, who are getting evaluated for sensory difficulties or challenges. So, the first item in my kit is this squishy ball, and I would probably just give this to the child at the beginning of the assessment just to see how they react to it. It's very squishy and kind of sticky. Um, so children who are sensory seekers would really love this and probably not want to let go. Children who are not sensory seekers and maybe have a little bit of tactile defensiveness probably would not like this ball because the texture is so kind of crazy and unfamiliar. So this would test just get an idea of how the child responds to unfamiliar textures. So that's the first thing, and all of these items I found around my house, so it was free to make this kit, but if you had to buy them at the store, it wouldn't cost that much money. The second thing I have in the kit is Play-Doh, or you can use putty. And I have already hidden a little bead in here, as you can see, but I would just have the child play around with this, kind of like the ball, just explore. I'd have them try to get the bead out so they can really get their fingers in there. And again, this one is pretty squishy, so some patients might love it, some patients might hate it, and you can just observe to see how they react to the texture. You can also have them make things with it and just kind of observe to see how they react. And then with this one, so I hid a bead in there, and then I thought it would be interesting to compare that with this. So it's a similar search and find activity. I'll put more beads in here and just kind of mix it up and have the child search through this crinkled paper to find the beads. And this paper is super dry and crunchy, very different texture than the Play-Doh or the squishy ball. So this would be a good comparison to see how they maneuver through this rougher material. So the first few things were kind of all about texture and just observing how the child would react to those different textures. And then another part of my sensory kit is blue tape, and I have already placed this down on the ground. I would just have the patient walk from one end to the other and observe how they move about. So if they run, if they jump, skip, if they stay on the line, if they walk slowly. Again, just observe to see how they move and if they move with a lot of hyperactivity and aggression and they're noisy when they move, or if they are quiet and balanced. So the blue tape test is used to assess proprioceptive and vestibular skills. And again, it's just another good tool to use to observe other skills that the child may be demonstrating. So after that, we have a box of beads, which I used for some of the other pieces of the assessment, but this would be to test sensitivity to sound. So I could do it, the therapist can do it, or you can hand the shaker to the child, and this can be replaced with a maraca or any noisemaker, anything that can make a loud noise, and observe the child's reaction to the loud noise. So that's pretty loud. A child with maybe sensory challenges might not enjoy the loud noise, and you can observe how they react to that noise. It'd be a good idea to hand them the box too to see how loud they decide to shake it and with how much aggression or how noisy they decide to make it. And then moving on, we have essential oils. And these are part of my sensory kit to assess sensitivity to smell. So I have 2 scents. I have lemon and frankincense. You can use whatever you want. But I would just put a couple drops on one palm and have the child sniff, and then I would ask if they prefer the smell or no smell. And then I would take the other one, put it on the other dorsal side of my hand, ask them to smell it, and then have them compare this one to this one and see which one they like better. And then again, ask if they prefer one of these smells or no smell at all. And this can give you a sense of how they react to smell, if they're sensitive or if they can't smell. And then finally, we have 3 little objects. So I decided to use a key, a shell, and this little paper clip thing. I thought they were all pretty similar in size and fairly similar in shape, kind of, but they're different enough that the child would be able to use their stereogenic abilities to detect what the object is without using their vision. So I could, I'll just tell the child that I have 3 objects, and I'll be placing one in their hands one at a time. I'll have them close their eyes, and with their eyes closed, they can feel around and tell me what they think the object is. And like I said, this tests their stereogenic abilities, so it's important that their eyes are closed so that we can evaluate their sense of touch. And if this is too hard for the child to identify what the object is, you can say I have 3 objects, a shell, a key, and a paper clip, and then you can put one in their hand and have them tell you what it is. It might be easier for them to have those options. So that completes my sensory kit. Thank you for watching.